Hey guys, and welcome to a very different video. We're going to go ahead and start actually prepping for our Alaskan cruise vacation in September. It's a little early, it is January, however, the reason for that is we like to make a lot of our own stuff and we like to coordinate outfits. So, we're going to do a video on how we make magnets. So, let's get into that. So, why do we take magnets onto a ship? Well, if you've ever been on a cruise ship, you know that the hallways are just endless corridors of doors. And that's just because, like a hotel, it's the easiest and most convenient way to put all the rooms next to each other. The problem with that, when you have, 7, 8 decks of rooms, and they're all spaced right there next to each other, they blend in, and if you're tired or anything's going on, it's hard to find them. So, most doors on a cruise ship are actually metal, or at least metal plated, which means we can stick magnets to it without damaging the door and make it our own. So there's really two ways to get a magnet. One would be to go buy it. You can buy it from Disney, you can buy it from Etsy. If you want them custom, you would buy them more so from Etsy and such. However, they're not always the greatest quality, and usually they cost quite a bit more than it would cost you to make it. The second way is to make it, and that has multiple different variants. A very common one is just to get a laminator, a pair of scissors, a printer. You print out what you want, laminate it, take some scissors, cut it, grab little circle magnets like these ones here, put some glue on it, put it on the back, sticks right to the door, no problem. However, to me, those don't look the greatest. I feel they look very, very cheap. And again, you're saving some cash doing it that way. My way costs a bit extra cash. First off, we need a bit more equipment. So we need a good printer, like you would do the other way. We need a Cricut machine, which is going to be the most expensive item on this list. Still a laminator, and we want to go ahead and do a cardstock, and then from Amazon we want to get some really nice thin sheet magnetic paper. I'll show you that when we go to put it on, but we need to go ahead and get into the process of getting that far. So I personally like Cricut, so let's go ahead and jump into the Cricut design space, and we can go ahead and use that to start our design. Now, in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just use Cricut Access. If you buy Cricut, you get 30 days of this for free when you first buy it. Else, it's, I think, 20 bucks maybe a year. It's really not much, and you get so much for it. Plus, anything you buy gets discounts. And so if you're like me and you go buy Disney designs, they get discounted, but sometimes people do it for free. So we're just going to search right here, Alaska, if I can type. I can normally type a lot better than this. Disney. We're going to search. We're going to see. So like all of these items are normally $1, but because we're Cricut Access members, they're all going to be free. And we're going to select, what one do we want to select? Let's go view all. Let's see some more. Because there's one when I kind of was looking at this guy right here, that I wanted to use. So, here's our cuts. This is not ready for a magnet yet. Right now, all of these blank spaces are going to be cut out, and for a magnet, that's going to be really, really hard. Plus, this is just a black image at the moment. In this case, since we saw that they combined it, we can tell it to undo unite, right down here. And now these are individual layers. We can go through and start changing our colors. So let's change our cap to, I don't know, like let's go more of a dark blue. Let's do our goggles as a light blue. We'll do variants of blue, I like blue. And then we'll do our reflection as a lighter blue. Now, Since we have all this, we want to go ahead and tell this to flatten it down. That's now made that all one image to cut. Next is offsets. Offsets is going to make this process a lot easier. There is the new sticker button. I haven't tried that yet, so I don't know how well that would work in this case. Offsets, though, is what I've always used. So we're going to do that. And we can see right here, it's going to leave these open spots. We want to play with these numbers in our distance until those disappear. Because since we're going through so many layers when we cut this, the less detail we have, the easier it's going to be. So the more smoother curves on the outside of this is going to make it a lot easier to cut. So let's go to, I don't know, maybe 0.3. Take a second, and looks like that's still going to be a little bit too, yeah, it left a little bit of space right there, which we don't want. So that's okay. We can always just take our offset and we can offset our offset. And we only need to go maybe 0.1, I would want to say. Boom. So that's also another way that we could add an extra color layer if we want. And I think we actually will. Let's change this outer layer and we'll change it to a white. No. We'll take this guy and change this guy to white. See, this is part of the fun of this, is you go back and forth and you don't know exactly what you want to do. Actually, we'll just do that. We'll take out that middle layer. So we got our blues on top of our blacks, and we can go ahead and again, re-flatten this. Now, this is a print then cut. This should be telling us that this is too big of an image to print. Actually, it's not. It's under 9 inches. However, an 8-inch magnet is going to be kind of big unless you're doing like a logo for someone, like maybe you have your own channel, or maybe this is just going to be like a celebration, so you want to do one big celebration one. Since this is just going to join our variety of extra magnets, I personally like them to be about 3 inches. And being that it's 3 inches, means we're going to have a lot of dead space on our screen. So when we hit make, it'll show us that that page is only going to cut that one corner, but it's still going to have to print all of our cut marks. So since that's the case, we can fill in the rest of this page. So I can probably do 3 down one side, 3 down the other. So we're going to hit cancel. And control copy. Let's go paste 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to hit make. It's going to take a second longer this time because it's got to relay them. And I have 7. But it's saying only 4 can fit a page. So let's take that out. Let's go ahead and take these. Actually, that's good. And let's go ahead and tell you, I think it's that height. I think the height is what's throwing us off. Okay, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make. This time I think we'll fit the one page. There it is. Perfect. So we got 3-inch tall magnets, just under 3 inch wide. Here we're good. We're going to tell it to continue. We will select our printer. It will look for our Cricut machine. Nice thing is, if you have a device that is Bluetooth, your Cricut machine is Bluetooth, so it's just going to wirelessly connect. We want to send it to printer. We want to make sure we have our printer selected. Add bleed. That's going to add just a little bit extra of a border around each of the images, which is going to help make sure that we don't have any excess white show through. Use system dialog. To me, this is always the best option because we can make sure our settings are set right on the printer. And then print. Now, if you're using Mac like I am, for whatever reason, it does not put the dialog in front of us. We need to actually downsize. And there it is there. And over here, we can go through. We want it to be set to a preset of color. Media and quality. We're going to feed from the main tray. In this case, because we're using that cardstock, we are going to do heavyweight paper. And our quality is going to be turned up to best. That's going to make sure the printer takes its time to make sure it does a great job of cleaning. And then we're just going to hit print. And next we got to go ahead and move out to the equipment to go through the next steps of getting ready to cut. So let's go. We got our image. The blues didn't separate as much as necessarily I wanted to, but I still like it. You can still see a difference of color. And I think it's just a cool little design. So next is going to be using our laminator. In this case, this one just does little laminate pouches. Peel it open. Stick it in. We don't care exactly how straight it is, just as long as it's all covered. So we're going to cut all this excess off. We're going to feed it through. Just let that go. Fascinating content. Now this is just going to help us make sure these are stronger and can handle really being thrown in a bag and such. You can skip this step, though I would not recommend it. Because again, this is just cardstock printed paper. But if you're only going to make the magnet for a one-time use, you can really get away with just using paper. Next, our magnet sheets. Yeah. Oh, that was so unsatisfying. There it goes. That was the worst peel we could have had. They are going to stick together. That's the bad thing with magnets. But, like I said, super thin magnet sheet. I'll flip our design over. These usually have a satisfying feel though. Oh yeah. Now, we really want to try to make sure we don't have any black showing, because that may mess with our cut. So we gotta be careful in this case. And this is just gonna be hard to do like this, but that's okay. I think that's pretty good. Now we press it through. Now, we can, at this point, send this and let this be cut. However, I like to send this through the laminator one more time, just to help push any air bubbles that might be in there out. But it also helps re-seal that glue to attach these fully and firmly together. So, it doesn't take us long. We just refeed it. Because this is still set for 3 millimeters, and so it's going to press that extra layer in a lot tighter.
Really bad angle.
The nice thing for you guys watching this, you're going to have audio in the back of this, where I'm sitting in a quiet garage and just can hear this thing clicking away.
It's not picking up on the mic though.
No, it is not.
Nice.
Yeah, that's why you shouldn't be talking too much, but that's okay. Oh, we're done. Boom. So yeah, we have that black border on the bottom. So it's gonna struggle for a minute to find that line. I imagine we'll be fine though. We're gonna check out. So you want to reposition yourself?
It's better if I'm sitting, because I'm not blocking the light as much, and I'm taller than you, so it's awkward.
So, next is our cricket. We do need a deep point blade on this. I believe, if I remember right, I've done this for a couple of years now, that the cricket does come with one in it. We're going to go ahead. Oh, that's always a good one. we are going to go ahead and match our image to whichever corner our computer is telling it that it's going to be at. So in most cases, default is going to tell it top left. You can change this depending on, like if you're going to use vinyl and such, which we're going to do a different video going over making shirts. We just want to make sure our corners and our line is matched up as closely as possible, that our paper, not our magnet, is right on it. Yeah, see, so we got a little bit of space, which means I gotta re-peel this up. We don't have to be entirely 100% accurate, but the more we can help the printer or the cutter, the better this is going to come out. Plus, it's just... Oh god.
We're good.
Camera person learning new equipment. That's okay. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be pretty close, because we want to help the machine as much as possible. Now we're going to set that into the guides, and we're going to leave it there for a second. Back at the computer, this is why a laptop will come in handy. We're going to tell it to do, in the other category, a magnetic sheet at 1 millimeter. Change the pressure to more, not default, because this is a lot of layers this is going to be cutting through. Now it's ready. We know it's ready because it's telling us that we can insert. So we push that against the wheels and press enter. It's going to take a second and make sure that everything is matching the way it thinks it should. Okay, light starts flashing. Computer tells us we're good. Our settings over there are still the same. Hit play and let it go. This is going to take time. This is going to be a slower process, because it's going to do lots of little cuts over and over again. But it will go ahead and get through. So right now, what we can see the light's doing is that there's a little camera on the bottom that's checking for those marks on the outside. That's why that black line is important to make sure we don't have too much of. It's measuring out exactly how far it is in order to ensure it's cutting as close to that line it's supposed to cut on. I can see it's a little bit off to the right, but we're still within the bleed. So that looks like we should be pretty good. I think it does 7 cuts per magnet. So this is going to be the longest and slowest part of the process. But these are going to look so nice when they're done. And they're nice enough to the point that all my family now asks me to make theirs. Because my sister, who did the other route on her first Disney cruise back when we first doing Disney, she made like 30 magnets and took her forever to do what she was doing. And then after that, she's just like, I don't like how these look. I want you to make them. It's so calming to watch though. I love technology. Doing this by hand would be, it'd be awful. This would be a nightmare. And there's no way you'd keep such a clean line, even if it's not exactly centered. But it just means my cutter and my printer need to be recalibrated together. So maybe we'll do a video going over that, because that's just a process. But if you want to see that process, let me know in the comments. So I think we're almost here. We just got a pass or two more. The computer does not help in this case, because according to that, we're still doing the first cut. We're not. We do have a new blade though. We're going to be trying with this process to see if that can help us cut a little bit quicker. Here it is. Boop. Okay, so now this is done. However, we don't want to take it out yet, because those cuts might have gone through all the way, but not always. So on the cutter right now, it's telling us that we can't eject it because it is according to everything it knows done. However, the play is still lit because we can press the play again. It's going to use the same settings and recut exactly where it did that first time, which is going to ensure that all of these magnets are just going to come right off. So, start the play, and another fast forward montage. Let's go. So I think this is our last pass, if I counted right. I may be off. Nope, I'm off. I think we're at like the last one or two then. If this goes 3, I'm gonna be mad. Yeah. Cool. So we're gonna tell it to eject. Pull these to the side. First things first, we should have a satisfying peel, taking off all the excess. Oh yeah. That just goes into the trash. Next, we're gonna take our magnets off. Best way to do this, to not wrinkle them, is actually flip your page over and just fold it back some. Nice thing with the cutting page is it's more of a hard plastic, so it will just spring back up. Those will lay flat. Always, when you take that off, if you're not putting something else right back on, cover it. It's going to make your cutting pages last a lot longer, and we want that to be nice and clean on there, just to keep that nice and sticky. Now, these all came out looking fabulous. At this point, we can call these good. I like to, though, one last time, take it back through the laminator just to reseal those edges that we just cut up, just to help hold it all in place and make sure nothing else shifts. You almost hit that lens. You were close. Boop. And there we go. So now we have our magnet.